All right, since we're all here, I'm going to go ahead and get started. That a little bit of extra time this morning allowed more people to join us. We've actually got a big crowd joining us today. I'm actually going to hand it off to Tom Randall right away for official introductions and to get us kicked off.
No problem, you guys. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties, and it kind of leads into my introduction here because the good news is you guys are in better hands than mine. It's a pleasure to have everybody on my team just about here. We've got our main marketers, our backbone of our industry, and certainly of Golden Care on the call today. Starting with Lynn up there, of course, who's just kind of a jack of all trades. She does so much for us that I can't even stress as far as getting all the announcements out and gathering all that and keeping us all in line. And she's the head of our marketing support. She just does a bang up job. And then I'll just go in order because we've got Renee, who's our great addition to our team. Boy, it's time flies. It's probably been quite a few months already, but Renee has just done a terrific job as being a kind of an underwriting liaison. Most of you know she came from Manhattan Life, and we just are really a pleasure to have her on our team here. And she'll jump in today, hopefully, and be able to hit some underwriting questions if we get some. And then, of course, we have our studs on the RD team, Studette for Morgan's case, but we call her the captain. I'm just going in order across how I see on the screen. But Morgan and Manny started about the same time as far as being regionals. Manny's been here quite a bit longer, but Morgan just jumped out of the gates and was a fantastic marketing support person, and she has just been a terrific regional director for us. And most of you on this call hopefully have had the opportunity and the pleasure to be on some webinars that Manny and Morgan have done, and they both stepped up and done a terrific job there. So I'm kind of lopping you two together, but Manny, same thing, just always steps up, always great attitude, always willing to dig. And one of the things I stress as a manager is that I just want my team to, number one, quarterback situations. You don't have to know everything, but you got to make sure you quarterback it and follow up, and they all do a terrific job of that. And then we got Jeff over there, who's not frozen anymore, but Jeff's our senior RD. And Jeff's been here a long time. He's been here just about started about the same time I did, 28 years ago, I think. And he was an agent, and he's been in the field. He has a lot of practical knowledge and experience in the field. So you couldn't be in better hands today. And hopefully, I joke with my team all the time because you guys know from being on webinars with mine, it's hard to shut me up. So I'm going to do my best here today to kind of let the team steer. And as we go through, Lynn, I think is going to take questions from the crowd. And as we get these questions, she'll maybe appoint people or try to keep some method to our madness, because it's like herding cats sometimes in this industry. But I'm already going long, so I'm going to turn it back over. And I know we're supposed to be on a half hour here, but I don't know for sure. If I be quiet, maybe we can get close to that. So Lynn, I'll turn it back over to you. And thanks everybody for you guys jumping on this call. Appreciate your time.
Okay, so first and foremost, can we see the screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
Good deal. So, we normally highlight some of the best features of Golden Care, some of the best advantages, the reasons why agents want to partner with us. We have a whole host of different programs, tools, resources, training, all of it's on our Golden Care agent website. We may actually do a little bit of showing that today, depending on how things go, or depending on what questions we have. But there you'll actually see all of our smiling faces. We're going to have an interactive discussion rather. We are challenging, perhaps challenging isn't a great word, but we are asking you to bring all of your extended care questions to us. This is a great opportunity to bring all your questions to us, and you'll get the answer live. So we've gathered all of our experts. Unlike normal, we won't have a ton of slides, but there are just a couple. Again, goldencareagent.com is our agent website. If you haven't been there yet, I highly encourage you go and check it out. There's a ton of resources out there, including some of our best tools like InstaPivot, the StratDecision quoting and comparison tool, Integrity Connect, and so much more. In fact, there at the bottom, you'll see we actually have started an exclusive short-term care group on LinkedIn. Anybody who has requested membership, you're going to have first notice when there's new marketing pieces, when there are freebie infographics to share, any news or updates, industry changes. We're constantly posting things on there. I know Renee does an excellent job with our underwriting corner and continually puts just little bits of tidbits of information and just underwriting help right out there. So go out there and join our LinkedIn group. But now I want to cover just a little bit on how to participate. So if you've gotten on and are unfamiliar with this interface, if you're using computer audio, of course, there's a couple different options, but if you've chosen to use your computer's audio, make sure that your microphone and speakers are working. This will allow us to actually unmute those who raise their hand to pose questions. The way it allows us to do that is if you, well, with computer audio, it's all built in together. But if anybody has used their telephone to call, they will have needed to enter the audio pin. You'll see that circled there in the lower right. That will allow us to unmute you if you raise your hand and ask questions. And let's go ahead and go to the next one. How to raise your hand. There's a small menu just hanging there off to the left. You'll see that little the hand raise option. That will indicate to us that you would like to ask a question. And I will go ahead and unmute as time allows, and hopefully we can touch on everybody's questions or address all of them. Again, we've got 30 minutes. We'll try our best. Anything that we aren't able to address live here on the webinar, we'll be certain to give follow-up phone calls and reach out and make sure that you do get your questions answered. For anyone who may not be comfortable asking your question, or perhaps don't have the technology or haven't gotten everything, all of the settings squared away, you can always expand the questions type box, and you can actually type your question in as well. So we will be monitoring those just as much as we will be for looking at people raising their hand. So I will go ahead and I think I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that way it is back to all of our lovely faces on webcam. And I'm going to go ahead and invite everyone to ask their question. All right. So let me expand and see if we've got any coming in. Okay, so the first of which is, what do I do with clients who have Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis? That's a tough question.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'll take that one, of course. So with Parkinson's, things like Parkinson's, cerebral palsy, ALS, Parkinson's stages 1 through 3, that's what we need to note. MS, ALS, those types of things. Omni limited benefits at a maximum of $100 per day for the base plan and the riders. No simple inflation. Those are still options for those types of clients, provided that they can complete their ADLs independently. We have the tool, the InstaPivot tool. So I want to mention that to you guys. It's on our website. That tool allows agents to pre-screen. There we go, right there. So you can pre-screen your client based on the state availability, the medications that they're taking, their unique health conditions. So it's very robust, and it comes, you can look up many, like it covers so many unique situations. And we also want to note that we have the full recorded webinar for the training on our agent site as well. So as Lynn is showing, you just click by the state. If it turns up green, it's available in that state. You can pull down brochures. You can pull down the agent guide, the underwriting guidelines. You can pull down all that those types of things. Also directions on how to complete their e-app. It's all right there in the InstaPivot tool. You type in your conditions, and then it's going to populate with a red X if it's not available to them. If it's a green check, yes, that's still an option for them. So you want to look for the green. You want to look for the green in the state, and you want to look for the green in the condition. So we're constantly making enhancements to this tool just to keep it fresh and keep it updated and keep it relevant with the new underwriting guidelines that they might push out, any changes that the carriers may make.
All right, good deal. Let me go back and check to see if there are any other questions. Is Golden Care working with the state of Kansas to get the OmniFlex product approved? That is also a very good question. And we actually have regular meetings with Manhattan Life and the powers that be there. They have been working with several different state departments of insurance. Offhand, without looking up some of the details, I know they've encountered some pushback. They've gotten some of their filings, I'm losing words, turned around. It was returned to them with can't think of the wording. Tom, did you want to jump in? I know they have several states that they're working with. I just can't think of the wording.
You know, there's going to be certain states, and I'm not going to belabor, you know, the long-winded version here, with certain states just aren't going to drink the Kool-Aid for short-term care. We know that, you know, when you get California and Florida, unfortunately Minnesota, we're having a tough time getting those states to embrace it. I think that'll change in the next years. I think Minnesota right now is looking closer. Kansas is one of those states that's a little bit tougher. They really want to have specific Kansas rules for it. But, you know, Manhattan, as far as any of the carriers, and I don't mean just to belabor the OmniFlex product, but of all the products out there, I think Manhattan Life stepped up more than most as far as trying to work with the state departments and figure out a way to get the product in there. So it is filed with Kansas, and I know that they always come back one at a time with little things that they say, well, disapproved for now, we have this objection or this change. So then the carrier looks at it and decides whether they want to move forward. So I'm confident, truthfully, that Kansas will be one of them that'll be on the docket, hopefully this next year. But again, I never can make promises. I've done this too long that you never know if the State Department throws a curveball we can't hit. So be on the lookout. You'll be the first.
We do have alternate products for Kansas and all those tough states. Just keep in mind that we've got, you know, True Freedom and other options for you there. So if you do have some tough cases in Kansas, let us know. We'll find you something.
Awesome. And by the way, that question was submitted by Jess. Jess, thank you for your question. Now we have another one that just popped in. Jeff had mentioned in an earlier webinar that it is possible for a policyholder to access unused home care benefits once requiring facility care. And I believe that, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, were you referring to the Fast 50 on the OmniFlex plan? If I'm not mistaken, accessing unused home care benefits once requiring facility care.
I think so there must be asking if you can tap into the home care pool from the facility side, right? That's what sounds like they're asking.
Yes. Mark is the one that submitted that question. So hopefully, let me go check it.
I can tackle it someone else, but Manhattan Life's telling us that yes, you can tap into a home care pool from the facility side. You can tap into if you're on the home care side, you can tap into the facility side. They're talking about the Fast 50 benefit. It's the cash benefit, their option. So I guess the quick answer on that, Mark's question is yes, you can tap into the home care side if you're in the facility using the Fast 50.
Yeah, Jeff, can I add on to that?
Yeah.
That's a huge point. We've had a whole webinar on it. So if you haven't been to it, I definitely recommend you check it out, because I think what that does for this little short-term care plan out there, where we talk all the time about the worst thing about these products is the name, because short-term care, some people think, oh, it probably covers 10 or 20 days. But these policies are tremendously flexible, and they can have really robust plans, as you know. But one of the coolest things that OmniFlex does that makes it very unique in the industry is just what Jeff said. I can go on home care, use my regular full indemnity benefits or the Fast 50, either one. And let's say I use that entire thing up at home, and then I'm saying, okay, well, most short-term care plans have to say, thanks a lot, then, well, we did our full year of benefits, we're done. Where with this plan, because of what Jeff just said, think how strong that is to be able to say, hey, I've got my facility rider out there, or my facility base part of this plan for a full year, and I can use the Fast 50. You can't get the full benefits because you're not in a facility, but you can use the Fast 50, stay right at home, not have to have an interruption of your care regime, if you will, and you can end up staying for full another year on that same claim, which is huge. That's a 2-year home care claim potentially with this plan. So sorry to get long-winded there, but it's really a strong point of the plan.
Really is.
All right, so we've got another question submitted. Can a client file a prescription claim once a month, or when can they file a claim? And let's see here. I'm not necessarily sure if there's a carrier or a specific plan mentioned, but a prescription claim. That must be referring to OmniFlex again.
Yeah, I'll take this one. The only short-term care plan that has a prescription drug benefit is OmniFlex, so it's probably referring to that. And they can file a claim. They don't have to be on claim to file their prescription drug reimbursement, up to $300 per year, $10 for generic, $25 for brand name. And you can submit those as often as you like. Some folks will wait until they have their full $300 worth of prescriptions and then submit it all at once, or they'll submit it once a month, or each time they fill a prescription, they'll submit it. So it's really up to you. Sometimes waiting too long, if it takes you a year to get to the 300, I mean, you could do it once a year also. It's really up to you how often you want to submit the claim, and then they pay it out immediately after review.
And I'm sorry, I'm doing my usual, but remember the cool thing about this, again, those home healthcare only plans out there, some of them have GTL, OmniFlex, or excuse me, Manhattan Life have a prescription drug. We do a lot of stacking of these policies, and remember, you can use both of them for that same prescription. So if you had a home care plan, you could jump in and use the same drugs and get double your bang.
Right, and the Manhattan Life Home Healthcare Select Plan has up to $600 per year reimbursement. That takes a huge chunk out of the premium if you've taken a lot of meds. A lot of times you can add on a Home Healthcare Select Plan to an OmniFlex at little to no cost. You're getting a lot of those prescription drugs reimbursed.
I'd like to say, put your prescription drugs to work for you. You already have them, put them to work for you.
Absolutely.
It looks like we had a follow-up question. Janine submitted, your new extended care brochure is great. I did not know you can use Fast 50 if in a facility. I thought it was just using it for home care.
Yeah.
Yep.
Neither do we, Janine. Originally, we didn't realize that either, but it does. It's great.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the
It's not
strongest
to touch the same thing there. Yeah, I mean, you can go back and forth on these pools and yeah, use the cash benefits to extend it. So now one of the negatives, I guess, of short-term care is that it was a 1-year plan. Well, now clearly with OmniFlex, it's a 2-year plan. No matter which way you do it, yeah, you could actually have up to 2 years of benefits in the same claim. So it's a wonderful thing.
Lynn, are you able to pull up the FAQ real quick just to show it in writing? I don't know if that's too much.
How many questions you got, Lynn? We have a lot.
we have a couple.
Just, I mean, we're already 10 minutes away from 1:30 or 10:30. So
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't have to show it, Lynn, but what Manny was regarding is just if you go to the frequently asked questions, you don't have to pull it up, but it is in there that it will specifically say you can use your facility for home care. It's
a game changer. It's really a game changer in this industry. I mean, I don't know there's anything like it out there. I mean, it's really, really a nice benefit.
Huge selling
All
point.
right. The next one is, can I stack? And okay, they're referring to specific plans. Can I stack an OmniFlex with a home health care plan? So 2 plans.
I'll take that one. Yes, you can, and we actually highly encourage that. Another big bonus is you can actually apply at the same time with both of those. It's the same, to go through underwriting the one time. And you factor in the RX benefit, which both plans have, which basically the policy ends up being almost free if you got a client that takes multiple prescriptions. And as far as the home health care select with Manhattan Life, you can get a plan that for a 60-year-old around $22 a month. It's next to nothing. So why wouldn't you do it? I guess. But yeah, we definitely encourage our agents to do that. You can also claim at the same time too. So another bonus.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the next question is a very good one. Submitted by Merlin. I have a lady who is looking for a short-term care. She is 96 years old in Illinois. Is there any option for her? You are reaching out to the right people. Did anyone want to volunteer for this one?
True Freedom, right?
Up to 99.
True
Yeah.
Freedom case.
All right.
Yeah, that's True Freedom was the answer there. And again, no matter what, it's a great opportunity for you. We have other products in some of these other states that don't take traditional short-term care or home health care only plans. So talk to the team here. If you come across, if you're sitting in California or any state, you have options. And in the age brackets, when you get over, short-term care goes a much older age than long-term care. But if you get the real old folks, then we can definitely have some options with True Freedom.
All right. So as you were answering that question, I was bringing up the FAQ because somebody had commented, Janine had commented, show Fast 50 in writing. So this is quite a popular thing. People love the Fast 50. And I'm actually just showing Manhattan Life's OmniFlex policy. Or I'm sorry, not the policy, but their frequently asked questions. And I'm not sure.
It's on page 4.
Okay, I'm not sure where they had.
It's at the end of the benefits section, so the next page.
Right there,
Okay.
second one down.
Yeah.
Right?
Up a little bit.
No, this
Okay.
you might have an old version. Go
Next
ahead,
page.
keep going.
This is,
There it is.
oh, there it is. Yep. This is from February, so I'll have to go out and make sure I've got the latest version in my folder next time. But we do keep the latest version out on the OmniFlex assets page on the Golden Care Agent site. That's just a one-stop shop. You can really find any of the latest materials. We keep it up to date all the time there. Let's see if we've got any other questions. We were thanked. Merlin thanked us for the answer. Janine is commented, love OmniFlex, and yes, please bring to Kansas. And also upgrade the GTL home care plan in Kansas. Thanks. Again, we are working with
Get on that. Yeah.
we are working with the state departments of insurance, and we do have a very close working relationship with GTL, with Manhattan Life. We really, our reach is far. We are even working hand in hand with Stratecision to help make sure that all of their information on the short-term care plans is accurate and up to date on the Stratecision quoting and comparison tool. All right, so somebody, Mary submitted, Florida, please. Florida is one of those tough states, but again, we do have other options there, and I know Morgan is one of those. One of those states. Florida is one of yours, and if I'm not mistaken, we did recently have. Well, there are alternatives there. Did you want to?
Yeah, I come across this more often than not. I got a lot of agents in Florida, and kind of delved in and try to find the best solutions. We do have our AFE USA Chubb product, a linked benefit product, as affordable. Also, Mutual just came out with a hospital indemnity plan that you can add on a facility and home health care rider, so kind of making it a little bit of a comprehensive plan with, it's not as robust as your just traditional short-term care plan, but it's a nice solution to still help your clients have, some sort of safety net there. But yeah, if anyone wants to discuss further either of those plans in more detail, feel free to call me. I'd be happy to do so.
All right. It looks like we have a question submitted by Mark. What document is viable on the screen right now? Oh, that is the Manhattan Life frequently asked questions. And I am actually just now opening up the OmniFlex assets page where I will be able to open the latest version. Let's see here.
No, I think you had the latest. That was my fault. I was thinking of something else. I think that might have been the right one.
Okay, because that was from February today, or February this year. It looks like, yeah, February of 2025.
Yeah, there was one released in April. We can get that out to everyone today.
All right. Oh, visible. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for your question. Let's see here. What if someone wants to upgrade? Would we need to cancel the policy and reapply? And this may differ depending on the company.
Yeah, I can take this one. With Aetna, once you have a short-term care in place, you can make changes within the first 30 days. You can make changes afterwards. I don't know exactly what their protocol is with Aetna or GTL, but they're a little bit more difficult to work with after a plan's in force. With Manhattan Life, you can submit a new application for increases. It's not going to be a new policy issued. They're just going to go through underwriting for any benefit increase. And then for a benefit decrease, they just need to send a letter in writing for Manhattan Life, and they will decrease their benefits that way. If they want to add or take off the inflation rider, then a new policy will need to be issued. But don't ever cancel your policy if you're going in for increases or if you're doing an inflation, adding inflation to it. Wait for all of those changes to happen first before you make any cancellations to an older policy. But yeah, you can definitely upgrade. Within 30 days, it's easy for any carrier. After that, it gets a little more complicated. With some, Manhattan Life has been really easy to work with making those benefit changes.
Okay, we've got another submission from Keith. Do any of the STC plans use a bill chart?
Oh, good question. I'll take that one. Wellaby and GTL both have bill charts. Wellaby is a little more generous with their bill chart. It goes up to like a BMI of 44. GTL's goes up to like 38.5. Good question.
Okay. The next one submitted by Mark. If someone goes on claim, does that suspend the premium? And this too is something that may differ a little bit carrier by carrier.
No, no waiver of premium on short-term care.
All right, that's a pretty solid answer there. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you for your question, Mark.
Yeah, just to jump in on that, it's one of the things, and it's not really a negative, believe it or not, because these plans, remember, are so robust. It brings up just the indemnity side of it, and I want to make sure people realize that, because there might be some new people on this call as well. These plans, remember, all across the board for short-term care and home care only plans are indemnity benefits. And the nice part about that is you don't have to worry about coordination. They pay benefits even if Medicare or some other policy pays. And that leads in, I'm sorry, but I got to jump on this because I don't want to miss it before the call's over. These plans, one of their biggest strengths is they don't have the same triggers as long-term care plans do. Remember, long-term care plans say the same 2 of 6 ADLs, but they say you need to have care with the assumption of at least 90 days needed for care. That rules out things like minor fractures, surgeries, things that you'll still have ADL deficiencies, but you're not gonna have long-term care step in. These short-term care plans can help. Think of knee replacements, hip replacements. Number one, it's a great selling point because everybody can see that happening to themselves as they get older, where they don't really envision themselves wheeling around in a nursing home, right? So those 2 parts, again, it's a little bit segue from where we went with the question, but I want you to know. Number one, people usually don't mind still paying the premiums because of the fact that these plans pay bigger indemnity benefits, even bigger than what the claim might actually cost in a lot of cases, especially with home care. So just want to make sure I pointed that out. And with restoration on some of these plans, they vary a little bit, ask our team. But when you have multiple restorations, what a beautiful thing to have a plan like this that can pay premium justifying short-term care claims, the real short ones that you just get better from, and then it restores and is there for if you need that more catastrophic claim later. So sorry, I just had to jump in, throw that in.
That's right.
We actually had a really good question just pop up. Won't Medicare cover my client's needs? It is Medicare season, and I might hand this one off to Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff,
Lynn, I got to ask this last week in a webinar. As a matter of fact, it was similar. They were more or less asking, what is my Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage? It is Medicare season. So, I mean, it's a great question. And, the answer to that is, what does Medicare cover? Well, not a lot. Just same with your traditional, your private insurance. In the Medicare world, ideally, if you have a stroke, if you have a heart attack and you end up in the hospital, and then maybe because of the stroke, you're going to need some care afterwards. So the rule on Medicare is, as long as you spend at least 3 days in the hospital and you check into a facility within 30 days of being in the hospital, you're supposed to get 20 days of care, all right, at a recovery facility, a nursing home, whatever, rehab center. So that's kind of the general Medicare rule. And then your Medicare supplement and Medicare Advantage, either depending on what you have, are supposed to pick up days 21 through 100. It's going to be a little long-winded, but in this day and age with Medicare, it all kind of depends on that hospital stay, whether or not you're billed as observation or inpatient. That kind of changes whether or not you're going to be billed under Part A or Part B of Medicare. So kind of a quicker answer on this is Medicare doesn't really do a ton. They do a little bit in that first 2 or 3 weeks. And that's all, again, depending on whether you're billed under A and B. Also, once you leave the hospital and you're in some rehab center, Medicare doesn't make that determination. Actually, the physical therapist that's doing the care will kind of decide on whether or not you've leveled off. So even though you're supposed to get 20 days from Medicare, if that physical therapist decides that after 10 therapy visits, you're not going to get much better, you're kind of leveled off, you're not guaranteed that 20 days. So I guess another way to say this is there's a reason why 80% of all bankruptcies in this country are a direct result from being in the hospital. It's because our current insurance or Medicare insurance just aren't prepared to pay for short-term recovery cares. And they are detrimental, financially devastating to most families. So Medicare doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe 20 days, that's about it. So people have to be aware that you need to have something in place that's going to help you recover from hospital stays. And Tommy mentioned earlier, what a great thing with short-term care, because we got knee replacements, hip replacements, all that short-range stuff, but it also can have the legs to go out and pay a year or two. So that's why we really do think that extended care is so important, because of the shortcomings from Medicare as far as hospital and recovery. So long answer, sorry.
No, that was a very good question. I'm not being consistent, and I'm sorry, Beth, that was a very good question. Thank you for submitting that. The next one is a really good one from Andy. If you use just a portion of your monthly payout, are you sent a check for the entire monthly max? That is a good one. Does anyone care to tackle that?
I can tackle that if it's considering a short-term care plan. Yeah, it's a daily benefit. So for every day a service is received, you will receive your daily benefit amount with OmniFlex. With Aetna, if it's in home, you have to have at least 3 visits per week, and then it's $1,200 per week with Aetna. but they're only going to pay you for the days of service that you use. There's not going to be, and that way your plan can last more than a year. It can last 2 years even if you're only using 3 days a week. So they're not going to send you a check for days of service that you don't receive, but you will be able to use all of those days of service and then even restore them if you recover in between those claims.
So I think some of
Well,
our
I think, just to kind of, yeah, so essentially,
Mhm.
if you had 13 days of care during a given month, they're going to pay you for those 13 days at the end of the month. So I guess what he's asking there, the answer would be no. At least with OmniFlex, right? They're going to give you each day that you had care. So they don't just give you all 30 days of the month because you're in care. But Manny alluded to, Aetna has a deal where it's if you get at least 3 days in a given week, they pay you for all 7 days. So if you had 12 days, 3 a week, then they would give you basically all 30 days. So that's kind of a joint answer there, depending on the carrier. But typically these are daily indemnity benefits.
that is, I think some of our attendees are on the same wavelength, or some of the questions are prompting others, which is always a good thing. That keeps the discussion lively. That was another question. Are all STC plans indemnity plans? I think you covered that a little bit, Jeff. But again, it just shows that a discussion like this, it can actually, if it wasn't already answered, or if somebody's question is submitted, it may prompt other similar questions or related questions.
So that one's a yes. They all are indemnity. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, I know that we are a little bit past our time. It looks as though nobody really wanted to be unmuted to take advantage of the raising the hand and being unmuted to ask their question, which is fine. We are getting all of these submitted through the questions box. There may be a couple others that I haven't addressed. Some are just comments too.
Yeah, Lynn, did you see the one from Carlton? Have you had a claim concerning home care benefits where the insured qualified and took the Fast 50 option? Was a plan of care required even if they chose the Fast 50? Are the first benefits paid after the first month of care, meaning they had to receive for 30 days or so and then pay the insured? So that kind of goes right into the benefits questions too. And yes, you will still need a physician signing off in a plan of care that you have 2 out of 6 ADLs in order to activate these benefits. And you will still need to do a caregiver log so they know which days of service to pay the Fast 50 benefit for. If it's a family member or friend, they're going to have to write down, the days that they were there. That way, Manhattan Life can pay that indemnity benefit, that daily benefit amount for every day that they were there. So there's minimal paperwork. It does need to be physician certified, but it's very easy. And then if you do have an elimination period, we say, 0-day elimination is always the best. But this will get rid of that elimination period too if you need fast cash right up front to pay for some of those immediate incurred costs that a claim can make.
Thank you for catching that. As questions were popping up, suddenly some of the questions submitted earlier were outside of my field of vision. So thank you for catching that one. That was a very good question, Carlton.
Hopefully I answered that all right.
There is a comment. Tom, please talk to Axia Partners about adding True Freedom. Okay.
Make it
Well,
tough. I bet that was Janine, wasn't it? I know Janine well enough. I bet it was Janine. Yeah, I mean, we'll do our best. We keep working. I got Dennis out there. A lot of you know Dennis Reiner. It's also a huge asset on our team, and we're constantly working with them. And True Freedom, again, we're coming up to too much timeline, but it's not a true insurance product, and that's one of the biggest things that with Axia, they just said we just don't want to go there. So I'll keep working on it because I do think it's a great option for people. It's a prepaid home care plan, basically. But again, I'll keep working on it because I know it would be great there's just certain people we can't help unless we have some of those other peripheral products. So.
All right. Well, we went a little over time, but I thought it was a very good discussion. And thank you, everyone, all of our experts for being available and being willing to answer these questions and being on the panel today. Tom, I know you've been especially busy. You're always so busy, but thank you for taking the time to jump on the panel today and help answer these questions. All very good questions. And like I said, I may have glossed over a couple. We'll check through the questions again, but if there are any others that were submitted that did not get answered during this call, we will be following up to make sure that we connect and do get all of your questions answered. So thank you everyone for participating today. I just want to go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want to jump on you. I want to make sure I saw this screen. I want to make sure you didn't sign off without mentioning. We see Lindsay down there and Corey as well. And Dennis Reiner's hiding out there, traveling around the country, helping people. I can't stress enough that you're in good hands with our team. Call us anytime. Lindsay's on our marketing support team. She's the newest member of our family, and she's doing a great job. And Corey, a little bomber, I call her the bomb. She's out there in Florida, and she has her hands in everything. And a lot of you on this call work with her every day or every week at least, and she just does an unbelievable job for us as well. So I just want to make sure they got a shout out too. Sorry, Lynn.
Oh, no, that's quite all right, which is exactly why I was bringing this screen up. We do have our experts on the call today, but there are still so many on our team that weren't represented live today during the call. And, you know, Dennis is not pictured here, but he is definitely a very experienced and well-versed resource. You know, we actually did also have a surprise guest speaker, and I see that he's in attendance. We also had Vern Singer jump on from Greenhaven Marketing. We'd had him on to do an extended care webinar a number of months ago, and I thought it turned out very, very well. I'm not sure what the situation was, and we may have to blame it on some of those same technical issues that Tom was facing at the start, but he was joining us too. So again, everyone, thank you for participating today. I know we went just a little bit long, but definitely if you have more questions, if you have other questions that maybe were prompted by today's discussion, reach out, give us a call at 1-800-842-7799. Anyone on the team is more than happy to help, whether it's to answer those in-depth questions, whether to offer a suggestion for you know, a certain client who may be outside the normal range that you're used to working with, or in a state that may have additional challenges. Reach out, give our team a call. So again, thank you everyone for joining us today. And with that, I will go ahead and wrap up.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Golden Care is looking forward to serving you with new tools, new products, new innovations, and always the best support in the business to help you succeed in 2022. So give us a call at 800-842-7799 or check out our website at www.goldencareagent.com.